if you could tell people a little bit about the Wall That Heals, how it started and what it's all about.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having us on. The Wall That Heals. We are the founders of the Wall in Washington, D.C. Our founder, Jan Scruggs, along with some other veterans in 1979, understood that they wanted to build a memorial on the Washington, D.C. National Mall. They wanted that memorial to honor all the men and women that had died in Vietnam, to honor all the men and women that had served in Vietnam. And again, they wanted it built on the National Mall, but they wanted it to be a place of healing. They didn't want it to make a political statement. So Jan was able to go from an idea in 1979 and get the memorial built and opened in 1982, all with private funds. In the late 1990s, they also understood something else. To continue our mission, they wanted to reach more individuals across the country to continue that healing, that honor, and that respect for those veterans that had served in Vietnam. Because as we well know, we did not treat our veterans very well when they returned home. So we consider this Wall That Heals, that opportunity to go across the country for those individuals that may not be able to make it to D.C., but to continue that education. On Thursdays and Fridays when we come into a community, and we travel to about 30 to 36 locations a year, we allow students to come in, any group really, and we give them tours to give them a greater appreciation of the sacrifices of our men and women in Vietnam. And we want them to understand that while everybody appreciates a thank you for your service, we need to welcome home those Vietnam veterans first. But you need to understand why Vietnam War was so different, why those veterans were mistreated, and so we can never make those mistakes again. We can't change the past, but through our education process and bringing this memorial to communities across the United States, we can maybe help improve some of those wrongs. I see healing every day. Veterans come out to the memorial that maybe never felt it important to go see the one in Washington, D.C., because they didn't really understand that the healing it was going to cause or the things that it was going to occur. And I see the emotions and I see those strong feelings. And when they finally understand that that's what this is about, the Wall That Heals, it moves a lot of people, and we get to teach that to these young people so that they continue to show respect to those veterans, but also learn more about the era.
Now, I saw a lot of volunteers that are out there, and is the Wall That Heals funded strictly through donations? Is there government funding for this, or how does that work?
It's strictly private money. The wall in Washington, D.C. was built with private funds, no government funding. The Wall That Heals that travels the community throughout the United States to those communities in a 53-foot tractor trailer with awnings that come out either side. We call that our mobile education center. Again, that is all done through private donations. The communities support us. There's only 2 employees that travel with the Wall That Heals. All the other volunteers to manage this operation 24 hours a day, because when we come into a community, we like to come in with a motorcycle escort because we know, again, we didn't treat those veterans very well when they came home. They didn't get those ticker tape parades. So we asked the community to support us and bring the education trailer in with a motorcycle escort. Those escorts last 45 minutes to an hour. We hope that starts that healing process. A little bit of welcome home. We hope the community comes out and lines the streets and lets those veterans see that their sacrifices are appreciated and acknowledged. And then throughout the week, the volunteers, the community, this is about your community, comes out and supports and makes sure that everybody gets the best experience possible. We can't replicate the experience in Washington, D.C. 100% because we know the memorial in D.C. is buried into the ground. Obviously, I can't dig up the fields I come to. So yes, we are above the ground. And we're not 100% scale. We are a 3/4 scale replica of that memorial. Our memorial, The Wall That Heals, is lit from above with LED lights. I encourage everybody, if it comes to your community, to come out and see this at night. It's a somber place. It's a beautiful place to see at night. I see a lot of veterans that don't want to be around those crowds and don't want people to maybe see the emotions that it's going to bring out.
Right.
They come out at night and they come out and reflect upon that. But that's all extremely important because Maya Lynn's design, the designer of the memorial, she wanted it to start the healing of the nation. And that was one of the requirements for whatever design was picked, and hers was picked unanimously.
And so if there's somebody that's out there that would be interested in finding out how to get the wall maybe to their town or their city or get involved with the wall, how do they do that?
Fantastic question. We have a website, Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. It is vvmf.org. Again, just Google Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. We have numerous programs going on. We were speaking earlier about what we call the Wall of Faces. Out of those 58,281 names of the men and women on that wall, we recently, in the last 2 months, completed a project where we've added a photograph to every name on the wall because those individuals on that wall are more than just a name. That's a life that was lost. That's a family that was touched. We must never forget their legacy, and those photographs help us do that. So you can go to the Wall of Faces, but there's also on that website how to bring the Wall That Heals to your community. You can click on that. The application is right there. You make that application, and we certainly have some requirements, and it's a large task. It's not something that just happens. But we have full-time staff employees that are excellent at their jobs. They work with you until the Wall That Heals comes to your community. Obviously, we have a yearly cutoff. Any application received after that would be considered for the next year. Many times, the first year folks apply, or community applies, and anybody can make that application. They may not be awarded that for the following year, but if they continue to show interest, they may get it the next year. We are hauled across the United States through the Truck Carriers Association. So members of the Truck Carriers Association, trucking companies, volunteer their trucks. The drivers volunteer their time. That's how important it is to them. Many of our drivers are veterans. Many of them aren't, but they are very, very supportive of us. So anybody can make the application. I see anything from local fire protection districts will make that application, but it's the community involvement, a committee that has the entire community involved, and those adjoining communities will be extremely successful. And that's what it takes. But again, our employees will walk you through that entire process from a phone call to the office to the completion of that application. After the selection, we're with you all the way. There's 4 to 5 site managers. We cannot do back-to-back visits. At the end of the week, we're just physically exhausted. So the next site manager will pick up the next community. So we come into a community with that escort on Tuesday. The community turns out on Wednesday morning, and we build this wall. We say 5 to 6 hours if all goes well.
You guys put that whole thing together in 5 or 6 hours?
Absolutely. And that's really 100% dependent upon those community volunteers. It's organized chaos, but it works. Yeah. When you look at the size of this memorial,
it's massive.
And everything that comes with it, because we have our visitors tent, we have the other items, those awnings that come off that education center. We have the Gold Star motorcycle. It's the first thing that comes out of the trailer. It's the last thing that goes in. We get all that set up, and then we're open 24 hours a day. Everything is running 24 hours a day until the following Sunday at 2 p.m. where the community will come back out again, volunteers, I hope, and we will get this thing torn down and packed up. We're putting 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound sack. It's all got a specific place. If I do my job well and I get the support of the other employees that come with us, because there's only 2 staff employees, it goes very smooth and nothing gets damaged. We carry the panels with the names with the respect they deserve. This isn't just haphazardly put together, because we understand the meaning of each one of those panels and the names on those panels. A lot of times we have veterans that say, I want to carry my buddy's panel. I want to carry my uncle's panel. And we make sure that happens.
It's amazing what you do, really.
It is.
I get the opportunity to do a lot of outreach, not the way that you're doing it. Mine is more education based. But it is those stories, those connections of people that you'll see more than once. And the next time you see them and you find out that you made an actual real difference, you actually did start the healing process for them, or
we have stories, and they're unlimited number of stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
We can go on for hours doing this. I know your audience doesn't want to, but one of my favorites is we work the wall just as the volunteers do. And I'm down at the wall one time, and a young woman comes up to me and she says, I need help finding this name. Absolutely, ma'am. And we do it off of our phones. My smartphone's smarter than me, but I can stumble through it and I can look up a name and I find the name. And as I told you with the wall of faces, we have pictures, but we never just shove that picture in anybody's face, because they may have a memory in their mind of how they want to remember their loved one. And it may not be that photograph that I have.
That's a good point.
So we're very respectful of that. So she gave me the name and I looked it up, and we were walking together down to the wall, and we started a conversation, and I said, well, may I ask you what your relationship to him is? And she says, that's the father that I didn't know existed. I said, well, that's interesting. There must be a story there. She says, yes, my mother became pregnant. My father was shipped over to Vietnam. He didn't return home. My mother remarried while I was still a baby, and nobody ever told me the man that raised me, like she said, whom I consider my father, was not my biological father. She said it wasn't until my mother and father passed did another family member tell me about the man we were walking up to see at the wall. And I said, well, ma'am, I have a photograph of him. And she stopped and broke down crying. She said, what do you mean? How do you have a photograph of my father? I've never seen one. My family destroyed all the pictures of him so that I would never know about him. I was able to show her a photograph of the father that she didn't know and that she had never seen before. That's just one of the many stories. Or the veteran that comes up and says, can you help me find this? And you go up to the wall, and then that emotion comes out and that healing starts, and they say, you know, this should have been me. I was walking point that day. Mm-hmm. And for one reason or another, the sergeant said, I'm taking point. You need a break. And he said, 10 steps later, he was gone. He said, I've lived with that all my life. And he said, now I'm here to pay him that respect and thank him. It's all part of that healing. They bring their families out. I've had families come up to me the next day and say, I want to thank you for what you did for my father last night. And if they could understand the panic that's going on inside of me when they tell me that, because I'm sorry, I don't remember every person I talk to. And I'm always thinking, my goodness, did I do something wrong? But they're thanking me. And it usually goes something like that. You listened to my father. Well, he was talking to you and you were helping him find somebody. You and him connected. When he came home, or when we got home last night, he hasn't stopped talking. He's talked more about his experiences in Vietnam since he met you yesterday, visited the Wall That Heals, that opened up that dialogue. It's now opened up the dialogue with the family. He's a different person because he visited that wall and because you listened to him. what more could a man ask for?
That's awesome.
What more of a privilege could I possibly have to be able to do that? I've had successful careers throughout my life. This is a part-time job, but this is the most rewarding. So next to my family, this is probably the best thing I've ever done.
That's awesome. Well, Vic, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about the wall. And thank you for doing what you do, honestly.
It's truly a privilege and honor. And I encourage everybody to please go out to our website. If we're near your community, come see us. Come say hi to the site managers. We're always looking for more individuals to help us.
For all you ladies and gentlemen out there, we'll have all the information about the Wall That Heals in the video description below. We'll also have calendar of events that they have going on, links to all the programs that Vic discussed. But again, Vic, thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's been a privilege and honor, and I look forward to meeting everybody.
All right. So again, check out that video description. And to all of you who have served or are serving, thank you for your service.
Connect with the benefits you earned and deserve. Visit news.va.gov for current events, sign up for the Vet Resources e-newsletter, subscribe on YouTube for content like theSITREP and VR5, or follow VA on social media. Visit the video description below and get connected today.